Good afternoon. I'm Professor Amy Green. I know some of you. I don't know all of you, but I welcome you on behalf of what we call the ISP, the Interdisciplinary Studies family. And we do, once you become a Kotlowitz Award winner, you are officially a member of the ISP family. And we have some previous award winners here who will attest to that when you get to meet them and chat with them a little bit later. So I welcome our honorees today and your friends and your family. We know, because we've all been there ourselves as faculty, you don't do it alone. It takes support, it takes love, it takes encouragement. So we want to ask you to turn and either, if they're not here with you, think of them, and if they're here with you, send some love to whoever's been who's had your back while you've been at this. So take a minute to have that warm thought. So I welcome you. Today's ceremony is like the highlight for the faculty of ISP because we get to really, in the process of selecting our winners, really think about who gets it, who gets what we're trying to do, who's really in there in the mix and unafraid to speak out and have an opinion and maybe be wrong, but know you'll live through it, right? Everybody's nodding. Yeah, I know I had that horrible feeling, but now I'm used to it and I have confidence. So we really honor that in our students. We value it tremendously, and you are the students who teach us at least as much as we teach you. So we're delighted to have you with us and hope that you will stay with us throughout your career at John Jay. We're always thinking of more ways to make opportunities for you to stay with us, so we're very much inviting you and hoping that you will do that. So today's ceremony will have a couple of parts. The first thing after welcoming you I'd like to do is, unfortunately some of our faculty are teaching, but some of them were able to be with us today, and so I would just like the faculty to stand and introduce yourselves briefly. ISP faculty? Just introduce yourselves and let them know what you're interested in, what you teach, so that if they have not yet had the pleasure, they will know what they're in for in coming semesters. Sarah, you want to get started?
My name is Sarah Freeland, and I'm a documentary filmmaker, and I like to teach classes kind of that have to do with art and film and things like that. I won't be teaching in the fall, but I will be back.
I am Susanna Crowder. I am a historian and I study the Middle Ages, but I almost never teach that. I just love teaching all kinds of things. So, for example, this semester I'm teaching a great class on music and troublemakers. I also have another class on sort of graphic novels and comic books. So, I just love ISP.
I'm Ryan Bazinet. I'm an ethnomusicologist, and I teach all kinds of classes dealing with music, culture, society, things like that.
I'm Richard Hoare. I'm the chair of the program, and I teach, I think absolutely anything that you throw at me. And I am teaching a really involved 6-credit class on Moby Dick in the fall, where we will go whaling and
He's not kidding.
And go to museums and all sorts of trips. It's going to be really fun if anyone's interested.
Talk that one up. 6 credits, 1 book, deep immersion, very cool. Some of you did the Garcia Marquez last semester. This is a similar course. So.
And there will be whaling.
And there will be whaling. You're getting out on the water.
You will get to use a harpoon.
But you don't have to swim. You don't have to swim.
I want to take that course, but when I'm not taking that course, my name is Shirley Sarna. By training, I am an attorney, and I do some of the law piece in these wonderful, rich, inventive, creative courses that ISP offers. And of course, we don't want you to tell too many other people, but the best thing about ISP for a faculty person is how much we get to learn from our students. It's what keeps the faculty fresh, engaged, and absolutely committed to teaching in this program rather than any other part of the college. So it's you guys that make our jobs such incredible fun. So we all thank you for giving us this gift. I'm Andrea Ballas, and I am a historian. There are a lot of us. It's like the place is thick with historians. My best talent is I'm curious. I get curious about all kinds of things, and that's what we love about our students. That's the common thread among all of our students is a curiosity, a willing to see how one thing might be when you put it next to another thing. It's what we love, and we love that you have found in yourselves that you know that you too are curious and that you too want to see what happens when you put one idea next to another. So I'll go along with thanking you also.
My name is Victoria Bond, and I teach English 101 and English 201 in the ISP program. And I love teaching freshmen. It feels like a special honor to help people find their voice and locate things that they're interested in and figure out a way to express that.
I'm Yasmin Dallasay, and I teach the Life Stories course with Ryan Besnet. I'm a writer and a musician, and I'm new to ISB, and I'm so excited about asking questions and following these questions.
Hi, I'm Barbara Cassidy. I'm a playwright. I'm here for a few of my students, which I'm very happy about. I teach classes that have to do with theater, so theater in all kinds of ways. So this semester I'm teaching an altered reality class. We're thinking about altered reality in theater.
Hi, my name is Jerry Markowitz. I think I'm a historian, but my best talent is picking great co-teachers. and having fabulous students wanting to our program. So thank you all for being who you are.
And I just want to bring regards from Professor Stein. Some of you may know Professor Stein. She was unable to be here today. She is unwell. She's very much with us and on our mind today. So I just want to raise, thank you. You may be seated. My daughter to this day, when she finishes the Pledge of Allegiance, she's 26, she says, you may be seated. So I just want to put out a couple of thank yous to the person who makes ISP tick, without whom not only would you not know about our classes or be able to find your classroom the first day, but we wouldn't have this lovely event today. So I know you probably know that I'm going to thank Mrs. Acuna. We like to think of ISP in three parts, right? There's the whole faculty, there's the whole student body, and there's Mrs. Acuna. Equal parts. So thank you. And is David here? Who helped you today? No, but thank him for us. Thank him for us. Okay, so I am going to pass the baton. Unfortunately, I have childcare issues at home and can't stay for the whole ceremony. So I congratulate all of you. I am going to introduce again Professor Markowitz, who is going to tell you a little bit about Billie Kotlowitz, for whom today's award was named, and the purpose of the award. All right, so congratulations. Have a great afternoon.
So, Billie Kotlowitz, those of you who are in the juvenile justice class have heard some of this. We had the great pleasure of having her son, Alex Kotlowitz, come and talk to our class. But Billie Kotlowitz was the first counselor in the program, the first director of the program, and when she was here, it's hard to believe, but I was a young pup at that time. And she was a little bit older than us. And she taught all of us in the faculty a great lesson, which was that we were really here to serve students, and that we may have thought that we were so smart and that we really knew a lot. But that our students were the gems, and that our job was to polish those gems and to bring out your natural brilliance. And she always told us as well, if you have an opportunity to help a student, rather than be punitive, that is your obligation as a professor. And we really have tried, not always successfully, to live up to that, but she was really quite an extraordinary influence on all of us. So that is the person who you Kotlowitz winners are being honored for, and she was really quite extraordinary. Before we get to the Kotlowitz winners, I want to introduce the ISP Graduating Senior Awardee, who is Sabretta Alford. And yes, by all means. And let me just say, one, I hope that many of you will become the graduating award winners when you graduate. But you could have no greater model than Sabretta, because she was not only an extraordinary student in our classes, but also someone who really pushed us professors. There was one particular class when we weren't doing such a good job, and she really helped us refocus ourselves and do a better job. We may not have done a great job, but we did a better job. And it was really thanks to Sabretta, and she has been a great advocate for the program, a great model. And Sabretta, I hope you will come up and say a few words. Thank you.
I wrote a speech, but I was like saying, I can't, there's no way that I can possibly sit and write a speech for family members that has been played an integral role in my life from day one. As I stand here in front of you today, I never imagined that I would be an honorary recipient of this award. As a mother, a single parent of an autistic child, entering ISP was frightening from the beginning, very frightening, and I cried, and I didn't know if I would I was returning to school after 17 years in 2010, 17 years, and I just jumped right into ISP. I didn't know what I was getting into, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to stick it out. And I remember taking Dr. Bayless at the time, and I'm crying in the corner, and she says, you're not leaving this class. There's no way that I'm going to give up on you. And I said, you know what, I have to do this. I remember speaking in the classroom, and faculty are looking at me like, I see these curious, I'm very boisterous, yes I am, and I'm surprised you remember that, Dr. Markowitz. But ISP, as a graduating student, it became sort of like the foundation of who I am, of what I'm going to become. It taught me in many ways on how to think critically, analyze concepts, and basically work on interpersonal skills that are very crucial in social work in the field I plan to pursue. My writing skills, Dr. Bayless, Dr. Hall, Dr. Sonner. I remember Dr. Sonner going over intro, body, conclusion. You're not listening, people. Intro. And I remember that in that class. I do remember. And I said, this is what Dr. Bayless was telling me all this time. And, and after a while, I got it. And I remember going to Professor Hall, and I'm like saying, I got an A. He said, well, you deserve it, duh, So I'm like, one of the rewarding aspects of ISP is being able to count on the faculty whenever I needed them. You guys are not only are my friends, my confidant, but my mentors. And I would appreciate that for the rest of my life as I go on into becoming, you know, an advocate for social justice. And I will continue to be your whatever you call, who named me, exactly. But I love you guys very, very much. I was recently accepted into the School of Social Work. I've already, the Silberman School of Social Work at Hunter College, which is, thank you very much. I got a scholarship. I was actually accepted to 3 programs, Columbia, Fordham, and Hunter. I chose Hunter because it was cheaper. But, but thank you, thank you, thank you. And I've basically, I do plan to run for city council, and I've already recruited Dr. Bayless. If you guys want to join the fund, come on and join the fund with me. But thank you so much. Welcome to all the new and current recipients. ISP has been a rewarding experience, and I would take you. You guys gave me wings to fly and gave me my own pair to take with me, and I'm truly, truly grateful. And I will always, always, not only remember you, but I will always come back. But thank you. I love you guys very much. Thanks.
Hello. I get the job, the best job of the night. I get to hand out the awards, which is nice, without actually having to do any work of speaking to you all. I do actually want to, we've talked about the faculty and Ms. Acuna. We also have a number of, people always walk out when I come to the microphone. We also have a very important group for us in the room, and that's previous Kotlowitz winners. Can we ask the previous Kotlowitz winners to stand up and identify themselves? These are all people who have won this award before. You should get to know them. They're all certified, brilliant, excellent ISPers. Please get to know each other. It's great that you could come back, and thank you for coming back. And hopefully after I give out all these things, we'll be able to have a chat amongst each other. So, thank you. You may pledge allegiance down. So I'm just going to move straight on to present the awards. One thing we would like everyone to do who comes up to get an award is to say a little something. We've all said a little something about ourselves, and our graduating award winner said a little something about herself. And our previous Kotlowitz winners all had to say something about themselves when they set up. So for everyone who comes up, we would like you to just spend a minute or two telling us a little bit about your experience in ISP, what it has meant to you. Be as expansive as, if it's meant a lot to you, be expansive as you can. If it hasn't meant as much to you, then perhaps you say, yeah, it's okay, and sort of stumble off stage. But we're interested, we do think most of people in this room, in students, come to us because we're a learning community. And you get an option to join the learning community when you're a freshman. And we take that pledge sort of seriously, being a learning community. We're very interested in student learning, and we're very interested in being members of a community. So we're interested in knowing what you think of our community and ways in which our community has sort of benefited you or some way, or contributed to your learning at John Jay. So you get to have a nice certificate, but you also get to have to speak a little bit. Okay? Very quiet. Yeah. When was the last time I wanted a microphone? So we're going to start first, because I believe this gentleman needs to go to a class. So Hanan Savente.
So yeah, I do have to go to class, let me just briefly say that I came to ISP really from someone else that was in ISP, my mentor John Bay, and he can't be here right now, but I did mention to him that I was receiving the award. And to be honest, I came to ISP with really no prior experience of having been in the university. I came to John Jay after having been 4 years in the juvenile detention center. So a lot of the skills in terms of just communicating with my fellow peers weren't existent at that point in time when I came to John Jay. I was very shy, very reserved. Ended up, because of John, entering the Model United Nation team, entering ISP, and the first classes that I was told by John to take was Professor Blitz and Professor Sarno. I was told that I'd probably walk out of the class crying at one point. That was what John said, and I did walk out a little bit, frustrated with the amount of work that I had to put into it. The first class that I took, but it was a rewarding experience. It continues to be a rewarding experience. And I'm just really thankful for having, been a part of ISP. I will unfortunately probably not be able to take another ISP course, given that I'm close to graduation as well. So, the one thing that I want to do or say right now to ISP is thank you for all the, the rigorous work, that you put me through, because it was really helpful, and it made much easier the transition of having, been in the setting that I was and then coming to John Jay. And so it's been rewarding in so many ways. So I really thank you all for that.
And thank you, Hanan. It's as a professor in a program, you feel like you just need to say thank you to your students so often, because it's really miserable being a professor without good students. So students like yourself are really important to us in how we do our job. Next winner, Valfrey Placencia. There you go, my dear.
Good afternoon to each and everyone. Want to say special mention to Professor Baylis, whom I had the very first semester here in John Jay with Professor Cawthon. That rigorous 2012 presidential elections really did put me right on track on pursuing my major in political science. Professor Ha, whom I did have as a professor the very first semester here in John Jay, but quite disconnected in the first time. But it was an enriching experience for me to have had a chance to take it once more with Professor Friedland. It was a class in which we explored the construction of social norms, challenged social norms, gender, and the art of film, which Professor Friedland greatly appreciates. And my experience in John Jay, so as the same thing with many of you, I did sign up for John Jay, the ISP program. The very first day, I was the orientation day. I had the option of going to the regular path or the ISP program, interdisciplinary studies. I was curious, I was intrigued, and so I did set up myself for a challenge in signing up for this program. And looking back now, I will say that I do not have any regrets. This experience, my 3 consecutive semesters within the program had not been very smooth and well, but with the tutelage and guidance of these wonderful professors, once again, especially really Professor Friedland, I just really want to point out the significance of her guidance of me throughout the 3 consecutive semesters. I practically grew up in this college with Professor Friedland. My writing skills, from a very verbose, heavy prose writer to a concise, kind of straight to the point writer that I am now, and that I greatly benefit now from my other classes, from my other professors. So I just really want to take this precious opportunity to give you a special thanks, my heart's warmest gratitude to you, Professor Friedland. And I also want to just give a special shout out to my friend Daria here, who joined me in this special day. And yes, thank you very much, and I appreciate the experience. And now with the Moby Dick class, I feel like I am being pulled back in the ISP program, because this semester I currently am not taking any. But I saw the bulletin board and I'm like, the ISP program is pulling me back. And I really do see myself, I hope to see myself be back in the ISP program and be a part. I mean, I never left the family anyway. It was a home, a little home that John Jay had provided, the program itself. And it was just such a privilege and honor to be a part of it and be a recipient of this wonderful award. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, next recipient, the only person I know who's ever rapped a song about John Stuart Mill, Noelia Munoz.
Hello, my name is Noelia. I would first want to thank my professors. Some are here, some are not. Professor Bond, you inspired me to be more confident in myself, to not doubt myself. Professor Zalise and Professor Bazinet, which sadly left, helped me realize that you could incorporate music and other elements into biographies and literature that I was not able to see before. Professor Ha, you helped me, further deeper analyze context, not simply reading it to, get it over with. Yeah, it was bad, that class. And Professor Cassidy to be dramatic, use theater in literature too, and see the other side of, the context as well. I joined the ISP because I like to voice out my opinion. I don't like sitting in class just memorizing things to take a test. I feel like I didn't learn anything throughout taking tests, and through this I felt I've learned so much more, and which is sad to say, in a semester than the 4 years of my high school. I see things outside like gentrification. I see different things I've learned, and I feel more empowered, I guess, and more intellectual. And just thank you. I'm not very good at speeches.
And the winner of this year's Tallest Man in ISP award goes to John Fleurimond. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. So for once in my life, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be saying. I wanted to thank all you professors. I don't want to pick and choose and make anyone feel bad, really. But I want to give a special shout out to Professor Bond over there. She is truly inspiring. To anybody who knows her, I feel like I want to become a better person just knowing her. And it's going to be awkward because I'm going to be sitting right next to you after this. But yeah, I love you guys a lot, and thanks for this.
Continuing on the theme, the award for staying in the freshman program the longest goes to Jasmine Rashid. Jasmine's second year in the freshman program.
It's okay. Hi guys, thank you so much for the award. Like a lot of you, I joined ISP not really knowing what to expect, but I heard no midterms, no finals, and no textbooks, so I got on that train. And it has been one of the best experiences that I've ever had. The reason I'm still here in my sophomore year is because when they say ISP is a family, it is not an exaggeration. You know that each and every single one of the professors cares about you from the minute you walk in to the minute that you walk out. And I want to thank all the professors I've ever had for that. Thank you guys so much. And I really want to thank Professor Sarner right now for making us go through all those speeches in class. Thank you guys.
I have nothing funny to say anymore. Ice 2 Diallo. Congratulations, dear.
Okay, so I joined ISP because when I was registering for classes, it was either online classes or ISP classes, and I knew that I didn't want to stay at home all day on the computer, so I decided to take those classes. And I really appreciate ISP classes because I love the discussion-based classes that we have, and I love how getting to learn new ideas from different people and really learning new ideas. And I remember in Global Catastrophe last semester, we talked about Hurricane Sandy and how it was like a conspiracy theory and everything, and that was really interesting. And I also want to thank Professor Bond. She was awesome my first semester, my English teacher. I had it at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't want to get up all the time. But she was so enthusiastic and so out there, and she made you want to stay in the class and really get into the work that we had to do. And I also want to thank Professor Ha. He's a difficult teacher, not difficult person, but you have to work for his grades. You have to work for those grades, so I really appreciate that.
Okay. I know this student is taking my Moby Dick class, so I'm happy to see her. Fatim Irucci.
Hi guys. It's been a long day, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for giving me this honor. I was really nervous and scared because I was practically the only one from my high school coming here, so I'd have to make new friends and just start over from the beginning. But I can without a doubt say after this year that that was the best decision that I could have made for myself. Being an ISP, for one thing, has been great. Just the professors are so open and so intellectual and talented, and they bring the best out of every student in the class. Even if you're the shyest person, you're going to be talking in that class. Like, there's no way that you can't speak in an ISP class. Another thing I'm really grateful for is the whole 2-professor, 3-professor system, because it makes learning that much more fun, seeing your professors bounce off of each other and just giving their opinions. It's amazing. And I also have to thank ISP for bringing me close to so many great people, my good friends, Jasmine, Joe, Anna. You guys are amazing. I'm so glad to be able to share this with you guys. What more can I say? Just thank you so much to all the professors and to the program. I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to stay for as long as I can in the ISP program. All right. Thank you.
Next, I think Emily Dickens isn't here. I don't think I can see her. No, she's working. Okay. Bobby Lewis. Actually, not one of the very few things I don't really know. So.
Well, when I first signed up for the ISP classes, I didn't really know what to expect. Didn't really go in with any expectations. Pretty much just signed up on the whim my freshman year. But when I came to the class and I saw that I had 2 professors, I thought, well, this could be pretty interesting. And it was. I had some interesting discussions, interesting topics. Like my first class was all about the revolutions throughout history in the Middle East and Europe. And we even covered the Arab Spring that year, so that was really cool. That was really awesome. And as an English major, I especially appreciated my ISP class that had to do with creative writing and short stories. And we also had some ISP classes about literally measuring justice, like actually measuring with rulers and protractors. Yeah, it's kind of weird, kind of hard to explain, but it was a pretty fun class. And my last class had all to do with attitudes and ideas about revenge, which I thought was really interesting. Like, how do we get back at someone? When do we want to get back at someone? Because I'm sure we all have our own revenge fantasies and stories. But I'd like to thank the professors in the ISP department that I've had classes with. Like, I think Professor Amy Green left, but her and Dennis Sherman were my first ISP professors, as well as Professor Valerie Allen, who's now the new chair of the English department, Professor Moffett, and Professor Lucia Trimber from the sociology department, and Professor Stroll from the philosophy department. So I'd like to thank them for the classes, the topics, and all of the interesting discussions that we had.
And our final recipient, final but not the worst, Amanda Giannici.
My name is Anna, guys. Yeah. Oh, my thing says Amanda. It's okay. So, when I moved to New York City with a teddy bear in one hand and a suitcase full of dresses in the other, I had this Arthur Miller quote from Death of a Salesman practically tattooed to the inside of my eyelids, which was, when I was 17, I walked into the jungle, and when I was 21, I walked out, and by God, I was rich. And I was like, that is what I want to be, but my jungle will be city. And it was a hot day in July where nobody wanted to be there, and they handed me the registration thing. It is a big, thick booklet of classes and a little worksheet of classes, and I said, what's this one? And they were like, it's ISP, papers. And I went, and I took the ISP classes, and oh my gosh, what a fortunate accident. That was just, I don't know, the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. For every class I've ever had in ISP, I don't know, I would stop looking at the clock, which is something that I haven't done, I don't think, ever, because I just didn't want it to end, and I wanted to stay back and talk more with my professors, and everything that I threw at them, whatever nonsensical idea that I had or performed or was part of, they caught it with both hands, and they said, I want to, I don't know, sponsor you. I want to be your friend. Let me be a part of your life. And that was just incredible. So when I would come home and people would, previous naysayers that said, are you sure you want to move to New York City? Are you sure? And they said, oh, wow, I bet your classes must be so hard and enormous. I'd say, actually, they're fantastic. Let me tell you all about them. Sit down. I'm going to educate you for 15 minutes. And just, I don't think that I would have been able to do all of this if I didn't have my friends and my professors in ISP, and I can't wait to be a part of this program for absolutely as long as possible. You guys mean the world to me. I call my parents practically nightly, just raving about my professors and my friends and the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm doing, and that wouldn't happen if I wasn't here. So thank you guys so much for this.
Okay, class dismissed. Get food and drink, talk to each other.